Welcome to Tuesday's tea party. Today we are going to make a Victoria sponge cake. Are you ready? Let's begin, but first we need to wash our hands. And now it's time to weigh our ingredients. Make sure you preheat your oven to 190 degrees and prep your 2 tins. For this we need some softened butter. Pop that in your tin and cut out your baking paper to the correct size. Adults, please help with scissors. Here I have 200 grams of self-raising flour. So let's pop that in our bowl. If you have a sieve, even better. Make sure you get out any big lumps. And 200 grams of caster sugar. Let's add that to our flour, just like so. Perfect. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 4 eggs. And you need 200 grams of softened butter. Now we can add this to our flour, our sugar, our eggs and our baking powder. Just like so. And 2 tablespoons of milk. Once you have added your flour, sugar, eggs, baking powder, milk and butter, then you're ready to mix it all together. And if you do not have a whisk, then do not worry, you can use a fork. You might need some help of an adult. You've got to be really strong to mix it all together. Once you have whisked and mixed your mixture together, then it's time to share it between 2 tins equally. Oh, this is a heavy, very heavy bowl. You can make your mixture nice and level by giving it a little shake just like this, and that should work. And get your adults to pop your tins in the oven for about 20 minutes. So while our Victoria sponge cake is in the oven, let's learn a little bit about the history of the Victoria sponge. Did you know that the largest Victoria sponge was Guinness World Record breaking, and it was made in Oxford in 2017. It weighed 50 stone and they used 700 eggs and 30 pounds of jam. That's a lot. Did you know that this baking powder was actually invented in 1843? This miracle powder was invented by a man called Alfred Bird, a gentleman who is involved in food manufacturing. Alfred's first major invention was egg-free custard in 1837, and originally he made this egg-free custard for his wife Elizabeth because of her dairy allergies. Now one night at a very posh dinner party, Alfred made this egg-free custard for his wife and accidentally it got served out to all of the dinner guests. And it went down an absolute treat. And he knew that invention was a winner. Soon after that, Alfred created a business called Alfred Bird and Sons, which we know today as the Bird's Custard Company. Fun fact. Okay, so where did the Victoria sponge cake get its name? Well, you see, Queen Victoria adopted a new craze for tea parties, and by 1855, Queen Victoria and all of her lady friends would attend in formal dresses for all tea parties. And it is said that the Victoria sponge cake was one of Queen Victoria's favourite, if not her absolute favourite. After her husband, Prince Albert, died in 1861, Queen Victoria headed to the Queen's residence in the Isle of Wight. And it was said that it was here that the Victoria sponge cake was named after Queen Victoria. The Queen Empress laid down quite a standard for the royal tea table in 1840 when she married her husband, Prince Albert. The royal wedding cake was said to have weighed 300 pounds. It had a circumference of 36 inches and a depth of about 14 inches. The royal cake was decorated with lovely posh ornaments of the happy couple and some wonderful doves, plus much more, and it was said to have cost £100. That would have been £7,000 in today's money. Whoa. A slice of the cake in September 2016 sold for £15,000, along with an autograph and a nice box. £15,000 for a slice of cake. Did you know that the two cakes at Kate and Will's royal wedding reportedly cost $65,000? That was $65,000 for two cakes. And a slice of their extravagant, wonderful, royal, extremely delicious gâteau went for $7,500 recently in an auction at Beverly Hills. Who would pay £7,500 for a slice of cake? I hope you have enjoyed learning about some of these fun facts about history whilst we're waiting for our cake to bake. Now you might want to check on the Victoria sponge, make sure it's not burning, make sure you've got your timer set, and when it's gone a golden brown colour it should be ready. Now if you still have a bit of time you can do it now, or you can do it later after your cake is fully done. I would like for you to create a timeline just like this one, just like so. Now you can make it as colourful as you like, or you could do it on your computer, whatever you like. Be as creative as possible. And I would like for you to begin at 1843. Now, can you tell me what happened in 1843? Do you remember when the egg-free custard was invented? Do you remember when the baking powder was invented? Can you tell me what happened in 1855? Were you listening? Can you remember? Can you remember when Queen Victoria and Prince Albert got married? When was that? And here we also have 1861. Now, when was the largest Victoria sponge cake made? I would love for you to create a timeline and brainstorm all of these ideas and write down exactly what happened in these years. And I would love to see your finished outcome, your finished timeline. So you can tweet me on Twitter, get adults to help with this. It's @Natasha_onstage, or Instagram, same again, @Natasha_onstage. And I would love to see your timelines. I'm going to leave some little links below too to some useful resources so you can do your own research too. I hope you've had lots of fun learning lots about history, and yeah, I hope your Victoria sponge turns out fantastic. Enjoy learning, everyone. You will be able to tell when your Victoria sponge is ready when it goes a golden brown colour. And make sure, adults, you are the one getting the cakes out of the oven. Let's see how these are. They smell good. Ooh, very hot. And they look good too. Now we can leave our sponges to cool down on our cooling rack, and then we can add the icing sugar and the jam. These look delicious. Great work, everyone. When your sponges have cooled down, you can add half a jar of your favourite jam, mine is strawberry, and some icing sugar. Now this is my alternative, it's vanilla flavoured icing. But if you do have icing sugar, it's 140 grams mixed with 100 grams of butter. Now it's time to add our icing sugar, and I've just levelled out my sponge there too. Ooh, this looks so yummy. Just like that. That looks fab! Now it's time to dollop on our favourite jam. Oh, I love jam. I would recommend about half a jar of jam, but it's completely up to you. We almost have our victorious sponge cake. Now we can add the top sponge. Just like that. Oh, this looks super yummy. If you do have any ice and sugar, then sprinkle that on and that will look delicious. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have our victorious sponge. It's time for a tea party treat. Enjoy! If you have enjoyed today's video, then don't forget to share this with your friends, with your family, with your teachers, with your school. I'm sure your teachers would love to see your timeline too. And if you haven't done so already, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because we have lots more coming up really soon. If you have any questions about the victorious sponge or about history or anything I've said today, or if you just want to say hello, then please comment below and don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow we have a weird Wednesday. We are going to be putting Coca-Cola into a cake.